It's been tough going for Warhammer 40k fans in 2024. Controversy after controversy, failed promises time and time again, and this set of controversies, this news update. Yeah, this could very well end up being the worst and most damaging. But at least this time around, these are somewhat new characters, and they're going to be non-binary. So here you are, injecting modern-day politics into fantastical universe so far into the future. Modern day concepts would seem 40,000 times more uncommon than anything that we could drag out of the dark ages. But no, because of the people writing this stuff, they can't think outside of their own little personal hug box. They gotta throw it in there. So new Stormcast Eternal character from Warhammer Age of Sigmar uses they, their, them pronouns. So stunning, so brave, so not gonna sell any books. Games Workshop introduced a new Stormcast Eternals for the Warhammer Age of Sigmar miniatures line that uses they, their, them pronouns. I mean, it looks like a dude. Everybody's gonna go. The idea, as always, that's a dude. Why has it got to be a they, them? Oh my god. As initially reported by Fandom Pulse and a preview shared by the official Warhammer website, at the end of August, Games Workshop introduced a new character named Iridan the Witness, who uses, goofy pronouns. The preview described the character Iridan the Witness strikes a morbid figure from atop their Morgriff Arax, wielding the axe of the final threshold. It continues, before reforging, Iridan was an Azerite scholar whose memory became dictic, when they were transformed into a Stormcast Eternal. Their ability to recall countless years of military strategy proved a vital asset to Sigmar, but were forever tormented by intense recollections of horrendous battles. And it's like, okay, cool. You just got to get over the cringe that's already there by referring to this obviously male character as, they, them, because reasons. After a pilgrimage to the Shrine of Morda, Iridan was granted knowledge that they had since only shared with Sigmar and Enoius Cryptborn. Games Workshop added that with this insight, they became the first to grant comrades suffering from the curse of reforging a true death. Iridan is now deployed in a battle where Stormcast Eternals are in danger of losing themselves completely, never once forgetting the face that they have put to rest, the company concluded. Yeah, that's all nice and stuff. But the introduction of this character with their they, their, them pronouns comes in the wake of the Games Workshop gaslighting its hobbyists back when it claimed in April that Adeptus Custodes faction had always included females despite numerous examples to the contrary. And that's where we find ourselves today with the first ever female Custodes character. Well, in so much as I'm not willing to check, I'll just take your word for it, because, brother, if you're looking, if Amazon is looking to find a way to distance themselves from Henry Cavill, but they still want to keep the facial features, you found your replacement. Holy God, man, how many skulls is she gonna crack with that jawline, brother? This is a whole she even got that butt chin that would put Bruce Boxleitner to shame. My God. But Games Workshop introduces a new female Adeptus Custodes into Warhammer 40k and asserts Custodes can be any gender. See, they've always had female Custodes, and now they've always had all of the genders in the elite military fighting force for the Empire of Man. See, it's so great to be a modern and consumer of entertainment, everything. What's it like to see all your franchises that you love go up in flames? It feels wonderful. Games Workshop announced that it's introduced a new female Adeptus Custodes into Warhammer 40k for the part of its Tithes animated series. Yep, because why not? On the official Warhammer community website, Games Workshop revealed Tirith Shiva Kiris, the first three of a long list of honorific names earned fighting for the Emperor, has the privilege of being our first portrayal of a female custodian guard since the recent revelation that Custodes can be any gender. Oh, so now you're even contradicting your old contradictions. That's interesting. Company added, this fact came as a real surprise to many, since it wasn't something previously previously explored. That, in and of itself, isn't a particularly unusual thing for Warhammer 40k and its lore. There are simply loads of things the Warhammer Studios have never expressly stated, except for the fact that they were always men, whether that's ruling them in or out, except for in this case. But now we're just going to go ahead and try to conflate a whole bunch of stuff, and we're just trying to gaslight you in a new and interesting way because we have a new female character to push. Yuck! There, Warhammer continued to justify their massive chins. Retcon, and gaslights its enthusiasts and hobbyists. Since the earliest conversation about bringing the Horus Heresy to the tabletop in Black library fiction, the exact nature of the Custodians has always been under discussion. After all, their origins and means of creation, unlike, for example, the Legiones or the Adeptus Astartes, are shrouded in mysteries. Well, that's cool. We're talking about Custodes, though. Can we talk about them? A significant advantage to this portrayal is that it helps us address a common misconception, right, guys? I see we've been clear on this before, but now this is a common misconception that the Custodes are just bigger, better space marines. They aren't. Space marines were made through industrialized ritual to be mass-produced brute force weapons of conquest, until, of course, we need to justify why they made a woman a space marine. I'd imagine we're going to have to deal with that next year. And even 10,000 years after their creation, draped in self-signed glory. Oh, so they just identified as glorious fighters for the Empire, or for the Imperium of Man. Great. Love it. That's still true of them at their core. Games Workshop stated each Custodian, on the other hand, is unique, painstakingly made through peerless craft and arcane artifice. Their physique, their psyche, their very soul is the bespoke instrument, the empire they are unquestioningly serve. That's interesting. So why would they immediately go with an inferior physical form? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Talking in a strictly biological means, because I don't know how many Custodes fend the kitchen of man, but who knows? We know a lot about Space Marines, relatively speaking, but there is still so much we don't know about the Custodians, particularly in Warhammer 40k, and their recruitment process is the least of these mysteries. The company has listed a number of questions. What exactly are they up to in the 41st millennium? What was their motive for joining the Indominus Crusade? What do they really think of Guilliman? What secret weapons do they have sequestered away in their armory vaults on Terra? What does loyalty mean, and what does canon actually mean in Warhammer at this point? Finally, Workshop declared, we sometimes call these gaps, plot holes that we're going to try to fill with modern day isms, and they aren't. And they are quite intentional. All right, yeah, they let collectors, players, and fans fill in those spaces with their own character stories and narratives until there's enough activists knocking at the door where we just need to go ahead and make concessions. They also allow us to revisit factions through miniatures, stories, and animations, and offer something new and interesting. Yeah, that's wonderful. It's unlikely that more gaslighting will convince Warhammer enthusiasts that the Custodes were always female, and that they can be any gender. Yeah, the evidence to the contrary is staggering, as noted by Grums, an excerpt from the, from the Rogue Trader rules published in 87 makes it abundantly clear that Custodes are male and have always been male. And yeah, we went over this back in April and May when all of this stuff was going on. Need not retread this well-worn ground. Grum shared excerpts from 2017 and 2018 Adeptus Custodes Codex, as well, that refers to them as the Brotherhood of Demigods and makes it clear that they were recruited from the sons of nobles. The excerpt reads, "It is known that all Custodians begin their lives as infant sons of the noble houses of Terra. It is a mark of incredible prestige to surrender one's child to this most glorious of callings within the Imperium, and many noble clans amongst the Terran aristocracy have willingly given up almost entire generations of newborn sons to earn it." No, that's just the bigotism, okay? Don't worry about that. Since the first of the 10,000 were created, there have always been female Custodians, according to Warhammer Official. And yeah, this beautiful lass right here, more than likely, might be the first depiction, but definitely has the strongest of the first 10,000 jawlines out there. May come from a strong bloodline, but nothing's going to be stronger than, well, you already know the joke at this point. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Oh, Lord. Take care, everyone.